Hello, 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 everyone.
Hello and welcome to our live stream. We are back from Queen Anne. Even though we got back last Sunday, we're probably arriving home about this time last Sunday, but the week has absolutely flown by.
Yeah, Queen Anne seems like a very distant memory. I can't believe how quickly the cruise went, and this week it has just flown by. We had such a great time on Queen Anne, experiencing everything that she has to offer, but I'm sure we'll get to all of that a little bit later on in the live.
Yep, so if you are here watching, please let us know if you can hear us, see us. Do drop us a comment saying hello, Tom and Dom. That would be great. We will know that you are there.
And we're not talking to ourselves.
As we do quite often. Well, we started off last weekend, didn't we? So we might as well start off where we started last weekend in Southampton.
Last weekend? Or the weekend before?
The weekend before.
Yeah, no, that was quite interesting as well. We'd never actually spent the time exploring Southampton. You know, I used to live there. We've been there so many different times to get on to cruise ships, but we never really thought about, well, hang on, what is there to actually do and see in Southampton? A lot of people have got some negative connotations and sort of references to the city, but wow, we were blown away by everything that it had to offer. So much history.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be invited by Visit Southampton to do some of the activities that people perhaps do not know about in and around Southampton. And yeah, as Dom said, we were absolutely blown away by what was on offer. So we got to see lots of different things. So if you've got any questions about things to visit in Southampton, whether you're there pre-cruise, post-cruise, or doing an overnight, or just visiting the city for the day, really, drop us some questions about that, as well as all your cruise-related questions, because we're happy to answer as many as possible.
We will do our very best to instill and share our knowledge and expertise with you. Instill, yes.
So we stayed over in Southampton at the White Star Tavern, and we didn't really think of this as an option before, had we? We looked at a lot of the usual hotels, shall we say, so the Holiday Inn, Premier Inn, the Travel Lodge, and some of the more popular hotels in and around Southampton, but we'd never thought about the White Star.
It's crazy.
And even with its connection to Cunard, the amount of maritime history that's involved with the hotel, we thought it was an absolute fantastic place to stay, and we were lucky enough to be able to stay there for 2 nights.
Yeah, it was a great experience, full of history. I'm sure we'll get some questions about our stay in Southampton. It's really great to see so many of you here on a Sunday evening. Thank you for spending your time with us. It's very much appreciated. We'll just do some highs. Tracy, hello. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I double-clicked it. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're well.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Barbara, hi both. It was a pleasure to meet you on Queen Anne. I hope you enjoyed it as much as my grandson and I did. Yeah, no, it was great to meet you. We did have a fun. We met so many people. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, Barbara. What was your favourite part about Queen Anne? Do let us know in the comments, because we've got some bits that we absolutely loved and some bits that people told us that they didn't love as well, really. So I think it all depends on what your view on Cunard is, whether you love or perhaps not love Queen Anne so much. But let us know what your favourite bit was, Barbara.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, from Andy and Daniel. Nice to see you. We met Andy and Daniel on Enchanted Princess many moons ago.
Hopefully we'll catch you on a ship again soon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time, actually.
It's flown by, hasn't it?
Sisters on the Seas, our Queen Anne travel buddies. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we got to agree, the week, I don't know where it's gone. Literally back in work on Monday, and then before we blinked, it's the weekend. And it just feels like...
It feels like 2 minutes ago we were with Sisters on the Seas in Tremonto having our final meal on board Queen Anne. And that was one of the speciality venues on board Queen Anne, Tremonto. And actually it was probably one of the better ones.
Fantastic value for money.
Really, although it wasn't the best start in there, by the end of the meal, it was great.
It was. Tony, thank you for joining us. Hope you're well. David, hi, both lovely to meet you, and thank you for taking the time to chat and have a photo on Queen Anne, David and Debbie. Do you know what? It was an absolute pleasure.
It was.
Thank you for coming up and saying hello, and hopefully you had a great time on board as well.
Yeah, just like we said with Barbara, do let us know what was your favourite bit about Queen Anne, because we'd be interested to know now, because we've had a bit of mixed feedback from people, but we really enjoyed, didn't we? So let us know. If you do have any questions, please start the sentence with the word question in capital letters so we can come to your questions. We'd love to answer any cruise related questions, in particular Queen Anne or Southampton related questions.
Corinne, sorry, my eyesight's going because it's quite small. Thank you for joining us. Holidays at Sea. Thank you, Bev, for coming.
Yes, lovely to see you there.
How was your flight? Let us know.
Well, two flights. Yeah, she's been just zoomed over to Barbados, zoomed back with a little trip in Britannia in between, I think.
Not bad. Hopefully it was good. Land Rover, hi. Thank you for joining us. Commodore Steve. Oh, sorry, I double-clicked it again. Thank you.
Ahoy. Oh, that's a very Virgin thing, isn't it? It takes us back to our Virgin times.
That Virgin is coming back in pieces every now and again. It'll just hit us, I think.
Memory from the amount of alcohol we consumed.
It's a very busy cruise. Davina, thank you for coming. Nice to see you. UBB, first cruise ever last week, and we loved Cunard. Food and service were amazing.
We do think the food on board was great.
Yeah, it was good.
A great standard of food. We were in Britannia, the standard Britannia restaurant, and the food actually was really good. Good quality food. We quite often had 4 courses, didn't we? But that was quite nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because our screen is flickering. If everything's all right with you, let us know in the comments because I don't know what's happening. Technical issues. Let's hope it goes away. Yeah, no, the food was great. The only criticism was in the main dining room. We did sometimes have to have 3 courses or
no, 4 courses.
Well, no, we so often had a main meal to share because sometimes the portion sizes were a little bit skimpy for us.
Yeah, but
that's us.
We got to try more of the food.
Which, we're not complaining.
No.
Tony, I spent 5 years at Southampton Unions. I like Southampton. Yeah, I got to admit, even though a lot of people say some not very nice things, I got to admit, Southampton is a lovely part of the world, and I thoroughly enjoyed studying there at uni as well, and staying on afterwards. As working and living in the city was just fantastic. But some of the places we visited, I never even thought about it. I think I've lived in Southampton for about 15 years. Prior to cruise vlogging, because cruising was something I was never really that interested in. I never even considered it, even though I lived in Southampton so much of my life. And then just walking around, going to the art museum, never went there. Went to the Titanic experience in the Sea City Museum. Yeah, amazing. It is a beautiful part of the world, and we'd definitely go back and I think spend a bit longer in some of the venues and some of the events next time.
Yeah, because of all the places we visited the Sea City Museum, Southampton Art Gallery, Tudor House, and the God's House Tower. So lots of places. Plus we had food in Stack's Pancake, which was amazing. It's a little hidden gem, really. It's in the Marlin Centre upstairs, and you could easily miss it because everyone goes to West Quay.
Yeah.
But the Marlin Centre is a smaller shopping precinct in Southampton, and it's upstairs, tucked away, but really is a gem. And we also had dinner in the White Star Tavern and breakfast, but the breakfast was amazing. Yeah. Blew us away, the breakfast. The spread they put out in the morning.
And you could order hot food from the menu, and it was top quality.
Yeah, the spread in the morning was fantastic.
And they include breakfast. If you book a room there pre or post cruise, you get breakfast included. It was fantastic. We got a question from Commodore Steve. Queen Anne needs separate service lifts, and I've got to agree 100% with that statement, because on embarkation day and the night before disembarkation, it was chaos.
Yeah, it was chaos. And a few people have said to us, oh, how do you expect them to move their luggage if you didn't use the lifts? But we've been on many ships where they use the service lifts. Queen Anne has got service lifts. It just seems to be, this is what we've been told, is that the luggage trolleys made for the service lifts don't fit in the service lifts, so they need to use the passenger lifts instead. Particularly bad on embarkation day, when your first impression when you walk onto the ship is seeing the luggage trolleys and the lift in the lift lobbies.
And it's not just that, it's the fact that because they use two, because there are 4 lifts in each lobby, they basically take 2 lifts out of action to take luggage up to people's cabins. That only leaves 2 lifts for passengers to use. And wow, the queues on embarkation day just to get a lift when the captain announced, oh, your cabins are ready. I was just, wow.
Because it started, no, the middle lift lobby has 6 lifts, doesn't it?
No.
Doesn't it? Oh.
No.
Okay, so anyway, the queue started there, went past the Golden Lion, through into the Queen's room just to get into the lift, which is a bit
disappointing.
But no, it wasn't. It didn't affect us.
No, it's just one of them things, unfortunately.
We went up the stairs, so it was fine for us. But if you've got accessibility issues, then that's a problem.
And there was a little bit of wear and tear in the lifts as well, where they have been putting the luggage in, because that was a little bit disappointing. But hey ho. Scott, hi both. When is your next cruise?
Well, we say we'll be on board a ship before. What's the next year? 25. I nearly said 26 there.
26.
Before the new year.
I don't think I can wait that long. Yeah, but before the new year, we've got a couple of plans. We tend not to release our schedule too far in advance, just in case things go a little bit wry. And but we've got, we've got something penciled in, so fingers crossed that sort of comes through. So just keep an eye on our socials, and as soon as it's all booked and confirmed, I'm sure we'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
Sisters, we agree. Tremonto was great. Yeah, fantastic value in terms of a specialty restaurant.
Yeah,
great experience. And yeah, I would eat there again, even though it's quite a fish intensive menu. And
yes,
Tom and myself, we're not big fish lovers. We still managed to find something on the menu. And I had the chicken, well, it's like a little flat chicken schnitzel, wasn't it? And it was quite nice. I really enjoyed it.
You're selling it.
I'm selling it. Yeah, go for it. That was really good. Really good.
The thing with Tremonto is it is at the end of the I was going to say the buffet, but it's not called the buffet on Queen Anne. It's called the Artisans Food Hall.
Very posh.
So very posh. It's not self-service. Your food is served to you in the Artisans Food Hall. But of an evening on board Queen Anne, very few people use the buffet or the Artisans Food Hall, and instead they close pretty much half of the stations in the buffet and use those to prepare the meals for the speciality. So it was quite unusual to see that half the buffet closed down of an evening. So most ships, that's when probably the buffet's ramping up.
Yeah,
really.
But I think it goes to show that the passengers on a Cunard ship tend to eat in the main dining room.
Absolutely.
And the buffet, we were like walking through at 7 o'clock. We were like, where is everybody?
Where's everyone?
Really quiet.
All the stations closed, and the chefs, half the stations closed, and the chefs were hidden behind blinds when they
preparing all the specialty meals.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was quite interesting. Holly, thank you for your question. How did the food on board Queen Anne, not speciality, compare to other cruise lines' main dining or buffet?
What do you think?
The food quality was very good.
Yeah.
In terms of the poolside grill food was just it was out of this world, really. You compare that to other food grills or poolside grills, and Cunard were up there.
I love how the top. Holly said main dining room buffet.
Okay, sorry.
And you went straight
because it was just so good. The buffalo chicken burger just blew me away. It was brilliant. In terms of the main dining room and the buffet, the food quality was superb across the whole of the ship. Main dining room, the only criticism was it was a little bit small.
The portion sizes were smaller, but the food quality was high.
Yeah, it was.
But we could supplement that anyway. We just had 4 courses, maybe instead of 3 courses, ordered an extra dish if we wanted to, which is completely fine to do. However, in the specialty restaurants, it is absolutely not fine to order anything extra. An extra starter, an extra main course, anything extra other than the set menu you will be charged
Yeah.
extra for, so you can't deviate from the menu at all. So that is quite a shock, really, that they didn't say, oh, you can have an extra starter if you want one, where other cruise lines have been happy for us to do that. But that wasn't a problem. But I think the buffet selection, or the artisans food hall selection of food, was very good quality, especially when we went through at lunchtime.
Yeah.
The options there were fantastic, particularly that fresh pasta station. That
very popular.
Very popular. There were queues there, and the quality of the breakfast looked good.
The pizza was good. The artisan food hall, I do like that concept. I liked it on Marella, I liked it on Virgin, because you can just nip to those different stations, get a specific type of food, and just sort of have little bits of everything, which I really do enjoy. In terms of comparing it to other cruise lines we've been on, would you say it was I wouldn't say it was as good quality as, say, Virgin.
No, but Virgin is a different concept. I think Virgin was
speciality
throughout, and that is probably some of the best cruise food we've had. But compared to, say, P&O, I think it was definitely a step up from P&O.
What about Princess then, Thomas?
Because I would say it was different to Princess. The offer felt a little bit different to Princess. Now everyone knows I quite like a soup. I don't think the soups were particularly good on Queen Anne. A lot of consommé. I prefer like a creamier soup. So I don't think the choice was there.
No, it wasn't. And even on formal nights, I suppose the formal night dinner didn't really blow us away. You know, we're used to, even on like Marella, having surf and turf, you know, steak and prawns, or a little bit of lobster. But there was none of that. They did have beef Wellington one night.
We did have beef Wellington. So yeah, good quality food, but not as much choice as we thought we'd get.
No, it's since sailing. Because one of the things I remember from our first ever sailing, when we did Queen Mary 2, was the food. I was really looking forward to getting back onto a Cunard ship and experiencing that. And bearing in mind there'd been about a 2-year gap in between our sailings with Cunard, it wasn't as elevated as it was 2 years ago. But I think that's across all cruise ships, isn't it, where they've had to cut costs, basically. But it was good. I'm not complaining about the food on board at all.
Right.
Barbara, first Cunard cruise, and I loved everything, especially the Queen's Room music and dancing. We were treated like we were treated before COVID. Chocolate on a pillow, free room service, fantastic food everywhere. Loved it.
I think Barbara's spot on here. Chocolate on the pillow, small thing, went a long way. Really nice. Turn down service, great for us to walk into the cabin and have fresh towels, and the bed's made, everything looking great. The dancing. Now, we thought, when I originally went on Queen Anne, I thought, oh, how is the dancing going to be affected by the shape of the dance floor, the size of the Queen's Room? But it was very popular. There were a lot of dancing, a lot of ballroom dancing going on. Yes, they have modernised it in some ways. We had things like a silent disco in the Queen's Room. Who'd have thought? So yeah, a good mix of different things to suit everybody there, really.
I wonder if they do a silent disco in the Queen's Room on Queen Mary 2, because that would be interesting.
Who knows? If you know, let us know.
Barbara, spot on there. The service was great. The staff were lovely. We didn't have any issues or any problems. It was a great cruise, and we never had to wait long for a drink. Queen's Room, the only criticism I have with the Queen's Room is that during, especially those cast production shows, when they were on, wow, was it just busy, and it just couldn't hold the amount of people. People were just standing everywhere just to try and watch this cast show, because they were doing it in the Queen's Room because there was another performer on the main stage in the theatre. That was my only.
The Queen's Room doesn't have the capacity needed, and I don't think the Queen's Room particularly looks great when they fill it up with plastic chairs, because people can't sit down. And then even though when they fill it, the 2 rows with plastic chairs and round the back with plastic chairs, there's still people standing. So
I think they have taken on, but Cunard have taken on the criticism, the fact that there's just not enough capacity in the Queen's Room. But instead of sort of add in seating that's similar. They've just put rows of plastic chairs out for people to sit down.
It might be a short-term solution. It's
Yeah.
still very new ship,
It
so we
is.
shall wait and see.
Holly, flight was great. 21 hours in Barbados is a record. Yeah, that was a quick turnaround. Hopefully the weather was nice.
Yeah, but well, 21 hours is better than no hours in
Yeah,
Barbados.
that's true. I'll take it. Sisters on the Seas question: what were your final thoughts on the drinks package? Would you do it again on Cunard? So we treated ourselves.
We did.
To the full alcoholic drinks package on Cunard. Now, it is not cheap by any means. It was actually $72 each per day.
Yeah.
So that did add up quite a bit. But
however, Cunard drinks are more pricey than perhaps other lines.
Yeah.
Plus, you need to add on the service charge, which is how much percent? 15% service charge. Plus, we knew we were sailing to Spain, which then would be an extra 10% on top of that again. So those drinks prices suddenly jump up quickly when you're doing pay as you go. So now we like to drink gin and tonics, cocktails, glasses of wine. So for us, I think it was definitely value for money.
It was a no-brainer. We were coming in for a drink each, nice glass of wine or a gin and tonic. It was coming in with service charge at around $15.50 each. So
per drink.
Yeah, per drink. One drink was $15.50. Yeah, if you're a cider drinker, a lager drinker, they're only $6. Then add on your 15%. But for us, four and a half drinks, and we pretty much made our money.
Some of those cocktails were quite pricey, and we were definitely trying a few of those of an evening. We'd have a glass of wine perhaps at lunch, a glass of wine or two at dinner, plus a couple of cocktails in the evening, and then suddenly we'd broken even or would have spent more.
You can have drinks up to the value of $13.50, and if we're honest, we found the selection of cocktails, the drinks available that were in the package, to be really great in terms of the variety of different cocktails. Like, you could go to the chart room and just have these astrological inspired cocktails. Great, because every single bar across the ship had its own cocktail menu.
Yeah. So if you're comparing, say, P&O to Queen Anne, the drinks price is much more expensive, but the drinks quality and choice blows it out the water of P&O, really, doesn't it?
And those cocktails are all freshly made in front of you.
Yeah,
it's definitely something to consider. 5 drinks, 5 cocktails,
but it's not just alcoholic drinks. We were having the premium teas, which are premium tea, hot chocolates, which come beautifully presented. If you're on a Cunard ship, you must try a hot chocolate on board, because that is spectacular.
It's an event in itself, isn't it?
It comes with cream,
chocolate shavings, marshmallows,
all separate.
I'm getting excited over the hot chocolate. So to answer your questions, would we do the drinks package again?
Yes.
It just worked out great value.
And we also had 3 sea days in this cruise as well, didn't we? So it wasn't particularly port intensive.
Commodore Steve, mine is Ventura in 8 days. Yippee.
Oh,
it's one ship we've never been on.
But we have been talking about Ventura for maybe next year, haven't we? Second half of next year. So let us know how it goes, Steve, because we're interested in finding out that. We've been on Azura, not Ventura, but it is on our plans.
It is. Yeah, it's definitely on our to-do list. We're trying to get around as many cruise ships as possible. So Corinne has asked us, will we do a Royal Caribbean cruise?
Yes, we will do a Royal Caribbean cruise. We are looking at Royal Caribbean cruises. The question is not if, because it's when. If we can find the right itinerary that fits in with the time that we've got, then absolutely. We do want to do a Royal. We're looking for a Royal Caribbean cruise that suits us. So watch this space.
Yeah, it's just finding the right cruise at the right time. Because for us, it's quite difficult to sort of slot in a cruise into our schedules,
Yeah.
because we both work full time. We both have proper jobs, and
We do.
it is a challenge, shall we say? But yeah, it's definitely a cruise line I want to get on. Same as Celebrity and NCL, because we haven't sailed with them either. But I really want to experience them, because everybody says they're just fantastic cruise lines.
Yeah.
UKB question: in your opinion, how does Queen Anne compare to the other Queen liners? Good question.
Well, for us, we've only done Queen Mary 2 so far. We've got plans to change that, haven't we? Because of everybody on board who'd sailed on the other Queens immediately said to us,
no,
this is not the same as the other Queens.
Yeah.
And we do agree, it's not the same as Queen Mary at all.
It's not grand.
But we didn't expect it to be the same as Queen Mary, because Queen Mary 2 is an ocean liner.
Yeah, and she's an icon.
Yeah, basically, Queen Anne is a modern interpretation of Cunard. It is not a reproduction of what Cunard has already done before. So yes, you'll find all the similar things and more that you can expect on Cunard, but reinterpreted for a modern audience. And I think the feel of the ship and the aim of the ship is to appeal to a younger audience. And I think that's exactly what she does.
Yeah. A lot of Cunard passengers that have sailed on the other Queens, obviously came up and spoke to us. Hi, it was great to speak to you all. And they were really surprised at just the age of passengers on board, because on Queen Anne it's a lot younger than perhaps Queen Victoria and Queen Mary, so that was good. So the ship is beautiful. You cannot, there is nothing horrible or ugly about Queen Anne. She is a beautiful ship.
But everyone said to us, she's a beautiful ship, but she's not Cunard.
She's not Cunard. That's what they said.
Yeah, that was again and again we heard that, didn't we?
Over.
If you've been on the Holland America ships, we were lucky enough to have a visit to New Staten Dam. You'll see why people are saying that, because she is basically a Holland America ship. The look of the ship, the feel of the ship is basically the same. The Queen's Room is not designed specifically to be a Queen's Room. It's the BB King's Rock and Roll Room on Holland America, just rebranded.
Yeah.
The pavilion is already on the Holland America ship, so there's nothing special about Queen Anne, apart from the grills areas, because you don't get those on Holland America.
Yeah, and those grills area, they do irritate me a little bit, because it is situated in the middle of the ship. If you want to go across the top of the ship, you can't do it, because you no longer have access to the Queen's Grill. They've got key codes, so you need a key code in order to walk through. So you kind of have to go down, across, and then up again.
Yeah.
I just wish they put it at the back of the ship, out the way.
Yeah, so it doesn't affect all the other
yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a beautiful ship. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But yeah,
just different.
Yeah, it's modern, just very modern if you compare it to the other Queens.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe the length of the queue for the shuttle bus back to Gijon. Yeah. One of our ports was Gijon. And I think everybody had the same idea of going back to Queen Anne at exactly the same time as we did, because wow, the queue, we've never seen anything like that before.
I think we were upsetting a few people, the Queen Anne passengers, because the queue was going all the way through a cycle lane. And there was one very upset cyclist who got off his bike.
He
was not happy with the cruise ship passengers because the queue was so big. But I think the queue was big, but it did move
so far. I've never seen a queue go down so quickly, and I think we were stood in it, considering the size, 20 minutes. We were on the shuttle bus heading back to the ship. It was fantastic,
but it was long.
It was long. It was. Carol, hi. Was nice to see you both in the Golden Line.
Oh, the Golden Line was really, it was nice packed. The Golden Line was packed every single night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Most popular venue on that ship.
Yeah, there was a Irish duo on board, as there is on Cunard ships in the Golden Line quite often. But it was packed in there every night. We had lunch in the Golden Lion on embarkation day. Top tip, do that, because I don't think we could get in any other day. It was absolutely packed every other day. But it was good. We had fish and chips.
Yeah, I had gammon. I had because they do specials, daily specials. I think Lizzie from Sisters on the Seas paid for their ham and cheese toasty.
Oh, it's not just any ham and cheese toasty.
It was quite fancy.
It was Michelle Roux Jr.'s creation of a cheese toasty, which it was quite a big cheese toasty.
Yeah.
Was it worth the upcharge?
$6.50-ish, I think. It was nice. She gave me a bit. It was very nice. But
yeah,
there's plenty on the menu that's included in the cruise fee.
So that's something different to the other queens as well, that you have to pay a little bit in the Golden Lion for some items.
Davina, we live in Southampton. The art gallery is great, but still haven't visited the Sea City Titanic Museum. Thank you for the recommendation. Go. Don't even think about it. Just go. We could have spent a good 3 hours, 4 hours in there, because they've got so many little displays, activities that you can sit and go through,
artifacts,
newspapers that you can sit there and read, and it was just incredible. Now, we've done the Titanic experience in Belfast. We've tried to do it in Cove, but I never even thought that there was this whole Titanic focus in Southampton. And I knew, obviously I knew Southampton, Titanic set sail from Southampton, but I just didn't realise the history.
And if you live in Southampton, you find it fascinating, because they've got this huge map and pinpoints where everybody lived in Southampton who worked on the Titanic. And there's hundreds of people who worked on the Titanic from Southampton, and you can pinpoint it down to which house they lived in Southampton. So if you live there, you'll find that fascinating.
It was great. Amazing experience. Scott came off Iona yesterday, got Azura booked for next month for the Canaries. So have watched a few of your videos, yet to do a cruise, but very appealing.
Great. Oh, well, Iona, great experience. We enjoyed Iona in February. Azura, previous February.
I still think Azura is my favourite P&O cruise. That cruise I really enjoyed. I've been trying to get Tom to go back and do it, but he don't want to.
It's not that I don't want to. We've got other ships to try.
Yeah.
Azura was our favourite P&O so far. Even though we've done Arvia, Iona, Aurora, all good experiences mostly. But yeah, Azura probably the best out of the lot.
Yeah, it was just the weather, the atmosphere. Everybody was just, when the sun's shining, everybody's just happy. And if you outdoor activities, sail away party.
Yeah, and if you do like the P&O experience, Cunard do elevate it a little bit. And if you're on Queen Anne, I definitely don't think you'll get bored. Because people say, "Oh, will I be bored on Cunard?"
No.
On Queen Anne, that was certainly not the case. If anything, there was too much for us to do.
It was quite interesting with Queen Anne, because Sisters on the Seas have done a gazillion P&O cruises pre and post pandemic, and this was their first experience of Queen Anne, and they both said this was similar to the P&O experience when they first started sailing with P&O. So it just goes to show how much P&O has changed over the years. But interesting. Tony, how did White Star compare to Holiday Inn or Premier Inn? I don't think there was any contest, really.
No.
The history of the White Star just elevates it.
Yeah, you had tons of personality in the White Star, loads of history, even the cabins or rooms, but they call them cabins in the White Star, are named after ships. The food was top quality. The comfort in the rooms was great. All the amenities. There was beer.
Complimentary beer.
In the mini fridge. There was complimentary water that we could have. An espresso, coffee machine, fresh milk, a choice of tea bags and things. The quality of the furnishings was great.
And the staff were amazing as well. So helpful.
Now, it is located on Oxford Street, so it does feel a bit hustly and bustly of us on the Saturday evening in Oxford Street. Luckily for us, we were out and about. If you were an early sleeper, ask for a room perhaps that's not on the front, because it probably could be a little bit noisy. But they've got plenty of rooms all over the building that, as long as you're not on the front, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I just loved that they had little pictures up all the way, even in the room with like in our room, wasn't it the menu that they had on the Titanic the day it sank?
Yeah.
It was just, yeah, it was great, really good. And as I said, the staff couldn't do enough for you, and we'd definitely be staying there again.
Absolutely.
Corinne, thank you for your question. Would you do an RCI cruise? They're my fave. Yeah, no, I think we did answer that one a little bit earlier. Definitely Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely on the list. Now, I don't know if we'd go Icon, although
yeah, I think that might be a bit much for a first.
We never say never. I'd like to try Icon, but at the minute it's a little bit pricey for us to get on that ship.
Can you imagine us on Icon? Because we're very, if you've watched our vlogs, we're very busy people. We don't like to miss out on things. So we tend to move from one area of the ship to the other.
Yeah, I don't think we'd ever stop.
Well, I think we definitely come off Icon more exhausted than we went on.
Yeah.
Just a little note, if you are liking this live, if you could give it a little like, please, by pressing the like button. It really does help our channel grow, and it just shows YouTube that you like our content, and we very much appreciate it. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, please press that subscribe button as well, because it really does help us and show YouTube that
I'm just having a look. So we've got about 17, 18 likes and 50 people watching. So please give it a like. That'll help us.
Barbara, only complaint was TV on wall. Oh, okay, at the side of bed in the inside cabin, not able to pull it out, etc. Very bad designing. You are not the only one that have mentioned about some of the cabins, specifically the inside cabins, where the bed is facing one way and the wall is to the TV is attached to the wall on the side.
Yeah, we posted about an inside cabin that we got to have a look at sometime last week, didn't we? End of last week. And a lot of people, luckily on that inside cabin, amazingly, the TV was in the correct position facing the bed.
Yeah.
But so many people have said to us that the TV is at the side wall, which is so strange place. But I don't know whose decision that was, but hopefully someone can change that.
Yeah, it's a bit silly, the fact that you can't even pull it out. On most cruise lines, they have got adjustable TV brackets that you can just pop the telly out. And put it on an angle. So yeah, that is a bit disappointing, especially if you like to sit in bed and watch a little bit of telly every now and again. Cunard versus Princess, Holly says. Yeah, no, most definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Travel with Johnny and Will. Oh, thank you for joining us. What was your favourite dining option on Marella Voyager?
That's a good one. I'm thinking now. I think for us, we did enjoy the afternoon tea.
Yeah, it was very good.
The musical afternoon tea on Voyager was a treat, really, wasn't it? I won't spoil everything that happens because it is a surprise, really, isn't it? At the start of the whole event that leads on to everything else happening. But as you can expect, musical afternoon tea, lots of favourite songs from the musicals played on the piano, or whoever is accompanying the music in there. The food was
good,
really good.
Yeah.
Plus you get cocktails.
Yeah.
The cocktails were really nice, and they are unlimited. We had ours topped up several times. I know they started off by, would you like some tea? And we both said, oh yes, please. And then they said, would you like a cocktail? And we quickly moved the tea out to the side.
That gin and tea time you can get. It's part of the premium package. So if you upgrade from the all-inclusive, you can get it up in the electric rooms.
You can.
But yeah, during afternoon tea, they were just free flowing.
So yeah, and then in the same venue, which is the Silver Fork, we had a meal, the full meal in there, the evening meal, the tasting menu. That was spectacular again. Brilliant. So I think Marella blew us away with the quality of their food, particularly in the Silver Fork. Really high standard.
If you haven't seen our last Monday's Marella vlog, that's when we did our musical afternoon tea.
Yeah,
I think I like the Marella because obviously you've got nonnas, which is great. You know, if you're a lover of pasta and pizza, it's definitely somewhere to go. And also abuelas, the Mexican, which
both
is
included in your cruise fare. Yeah, nonnas, the Italian, and abuelas, the Mexican, included in your cruise fare. Definitely worth a visit.
Vistas.
Vistas is
very good.
another Italian, but that is Italian.
Would you say
traditional Italian food? There's no pizza there.
No. But favourite would have to be a Silver Fork. But I had no complaints about the food on Marella. And the one thing I loved first thing in the morning was those breakfast baps that they have made and ready, and you just pick them up and off you go. Brilliant concept. I wish everybody did.
Grab and go.
Grab and go. David, we had surf and turf on formal night on Queen Anne in June. Was surprised we didn't have it this time. I know everybody said exactly the same.
Yeah, beef Wellington was the best you're going to get. Yeah, and it didn't feel particularly special, that menu, did it? Well, we had two formal nights.
The other night we had it was like braised. It was braised steak, wasn't it? It wasn't anything fancy.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing because we were expecting, especially because we'd got our masquerade masks on. We were all, you know, I even bought a pair of braces to go with my tux. I was so impressed with them.
Yeah.
And it just didn't blow us away. It was good. It was nice. The food was good.
When you go on Cunard on gala night, I think we wanted something that was memorable. And I think it says it all that we can't remember the menu.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Nami does cruising. Oh, thank you for joining us. Really want to try Cunard. Yeah, do it.
Do you know what? And there's actually some really good prices on some of the Cunard sailings, particularly Queen Anne and Queen Victoria out of the UK. I definitely say if you can get on one of those sailings, great value for money.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, they are. The pricing at the minute is fantastic. I know a lot of people are talking about the price of cruises in general increasing, but there are still many deals to be had.
Yeah.
So, you know, even MSC Preziosa, those deals that were coming out a couple of weeks ago, the price for a week on that was insane.
Yeah, I'm going to say watch what some of the vloggers are doing, aren't they? Because everyone seems to be moving over to Cunard, don't they? So there must be a reason for that.
Barbara Ventura is my favourite ship. Feel very cosy and comfy in their solo cabin going on Arcadia 19th to 29th of December and been upgraded to a large solo cabin. Wow, well, that is fantastic news.
Wow, as a solo, that would be like being in a suite.
Plenty of room.
Yeah, you'll be able to dance on that balcony.
Solo cabin. Is it been upgraded to a large
solo cabin? Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Sisters, Azura was our favourite because it's when you met us. I was going to say the same.
No, it says was your favourite.
That was the cruise that we actually met Sisters on the Seas.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, when we were on Queen Anne, we stopped. One of our stops was in Vigo, and the last time me and Tom were in Vigo, we were on Sky Princess, and we noted that P&O Ventura was in port on the same day.
Yeah.
And what we later found out was actually the Sisters on the Seas were actually on P&O Ventura and in Vigo when we were.
But we didn't know it then.
No, we didn't.
Didn't know it.
But the girls didn't realise that they'd been to Vigo until
they got off the ship. Yeah. So that probably says it all.
Scott, who got who into cruising? We all know it's one in a couple that spreads the cruising bug. It's true.
That would be me.
So true.
Actually, neither of us had ever cruised before, and it was after the pandemic. We were looking for something to do. There was nowhere to fly very easy because it was all the testing on the way there, testing on the way back. So we thought, well, we'll try this cruise to nowhere. Well, I thought, and I convinced Dom that it was a good idea that we actually tried it.
Yeah.
We got an MSC Virtuosa, and we've never looked back.
No, I don't know why. I'd lived in Southampton for years. I'd seen the cruise ships come in and out. I had friends that worked on the cruise ships, but it was something that I never considered ever. And then obviously after COVID, when we couldn't fly, we couldn't do anything, cruising just started. Tom was like, well, what about this Preziosa MSC Virtuosa 4-night UK staycation cruise. So we
Yeah.
didn't go anywhere. We went to Portland, and then we had a couple of days at
You
sea.
couldn't get off though.
No, we couldn't get off. So I was like, oh God, no, I'll be bored. There'll be nothing for me to do. What am I going to do? Stuck on my ship all day. Oh, I'm just going to, you know, I was really negative against it. And he then carried on and persisted over and over and over. And then I gave in. And yeah, when I walked onto that ship and stepped into the Galleria on Virtuosa, which is, you know, incredible. You wouldn't believe you were on a cruise ship. I was just gobsmacked. I had to sit down because they were handing out 3 glasses of champagne.
It was before you'd had a sip.
Yeah, it was before a sip. And yeah, it was incredible. It was.
Too much for you, really.
Yeah, never looked back. I had such a fantastic time. And I think we got back after Virtuosa, and I think we booked the next cruise
within a month.
Within a month.
Back on a ship.
We were back on. We did Marella Explorer.
Yeah.
Around the UK. It was great. And that was brilliant as well.
Yeah.
We've never been on a cruise we haven't liked. Yeah, we've had a few little hiccups and issues and problems.
As everybody does.
Yeah, as you do, because, you know, nothing is perfect. But, you know, we've loved every single cruise we've done.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's definitely, once you've done one, that's it.
Yeah.
It gets addictive. Question.
UKB.
Are you... Oh, UKB, thank you for your question. Are you planning to do a vlog about your Queen Anne trip? Yeah, well, they've all been recorded.
They're all filmed and
ready,
done.
Well, they're not done because it takes a little bit of time to.
No, they're all filmed, but nothing is edited yet, so it will be.
That's what takes the time.
Yeah, as you know, we film as we go, so they're filmed on the ship when we can.
Yeah.
And then. Afterwards, when we get back, we'll be editing. So yeah, we've got a couple of series to go first.
Yeah, I think because we've got so many,
and a couple of months behind.
We are a few months behind because currently we're having Marella Voyager.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do our Riviera River Cruise, our Rhine River Cruise, which was fantastic.
And then we'll see where we go from there. Then.
Well, it'll be Virgin and then Queen Anne.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's definitely ready. It's definitely coming. It's just going to take us a little bit of time to get it out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully sooner rather than later, though. Travel with Johnny and Will. We absolutely loved the Silver Fork. Yeah, we did. And
I'm glad you agree because it was good food.
Yeah, it was. It's one of them things where you like, especially the taster menu and some of the items on there, and you think, I don't know if I'm going to like that because we're quite fussy eaters, really. However, we cleared our plates.
Yeah, it's unusual. It's because it's a modern interpretation of British classics. It's something like that, anyway. So yeah, it's not quite what you expect.
I'll give you a question then, because we both had the beef Wellington as part of the taster menu in the Silver Fork.
Oh, the Silver Fork was way better than Cunard. That's what you're going to
ask. Yeah, it was the best beef Wellington I have ever had.
Oh, completely different.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you wouldn't expect that from Marella, would you? And especially when you're comparing it between Marella and Cunard.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely that beef Wellington.
Yeah.
All of the food in the Silver Fork, especially the white tomato soup.
Yeah.
That was, I just remember
seeing that
was, and it poured it, and both me and Tom were like, what on earth is this? What have we signed ourselves up for? But again,
good
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. If you have got a question, just start your question with the word question and get it into the chat so we can keep this live going.
What do you mean, so we can keep it going? We won't be going forever, don't panic.
So B, any tips for the Iona or things to know? Our Iona review is on our YouTube channel, and that is quite extensive, and we put together a few little hints and tips into there. But
top tips for me is find out who's in the limelight. If you've never been to the limelight before, I do think it's worth going. I think the food is good. And a lot of the acts are fantastic. Lavoir has just been on the limelight. If you get to see Lavoir, you are in for a treat. We saw Deborah Stevenson,
Matt Cardle,
Nina
Chet.
No. Selena cherry from the Honeys. So yeah, we like the Limelight. I think that's great. Other than that, check out the free dining. So if you get to go into the tell me the name of the Italian place.
Olive Grove.
Olive Grove. Go on, get that booked up, because I think that's worth doing.
Yeah, you have to do that as soon as you get on the ship, though. You can't pre-book the Olive Grove. It's an included dine-in, so you don't have to pay any extra for it. But the food, the lasagna in there, wow. Brilliant.
And you can do it for lunch.
Yes, you can. It opens for lunch and all the way through then.
And then Dom's favourite place on board that is minimal extra cost, although it is an additional cost, is the beach house.
Yes. Well, we've never done the beach house on Iona.
No, but you've done it.
I love the beach house. I think it's fantastic value for what you get. We did it on Aurora, and I paid extra. Well, you had the ribs, I had the lava salt rock steak.
Yeah,
cost £7 on top of your cover
it might
charge.
have gone up a little bit there, but
fantastic value. Really enjoyed it. It was great. In terms of Iona, any tips about the ship?
The ship itself.
The star button in the lifts. When you're in port and you want to get off, just go into the lift and press the star button. Not many people know about it.
That'll take you to the floor, wherever you disembark. The deck, sorry, whichever deck you are disembarking, it'll take you straight there. And the dome. Silent discos in the dome are very popular. Get in the queue early for the headphones if you want to be part of that, because we've seen it snake around the whole dome, haven't we?
Yeah, I think silent discos on every cruise ship we've been on have all been popular. But our Iona's was like nothing else. That queue.
But it is a lovely ship. You'll have a fantastic time. There's so much to see and do on board. I think you'll really enjoy it. And
see if you can get in the Aqua restaurant. So it's part of the main dining room. And
you preferred the smaller ones, didn't you?
Yeah, I preferred the Aqua restaurant. It's main dining room. Doesn't cost anything more. It's all included, but it's more of an intimate venue. And I quite like the decor.
Yeah.
We only managed to eat in there once, unfortunately. But we definitely, I remember us sat in the Aqua restaurant and we were like, oh, if we'd found this earlier, we would have come here instead.
Yeah.
Because it was just like a nicer pace.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got only a couple more little comments. Charles and Paul, thank you for joining us. Where would you really like to go that you've not been to yet? Well, I think the list just keeps getting bigger.
The list is massive, but cruise on the Nile, Egypt, I would really like to do. Rich and Helen have been there this week. New Viking ship has launched on the Nile. New Tui ship has launched on the Nile this week. Both look fantastic, so I would love to go to them. South America, we'd like to do around the tip of South America. Something keeps telling us to do that because we've had so many hints to do that.
I'm going to go to Ushuaia.
And because of our Greenland cruise, we would absolutely love to do an Antarctica cruise, because we loved Greenland, the spectacular, the nature, the scenery. So somewhere else cold. It's a bit crazy to say we want to do somewhere else cold, but
there's so many. I'd love to do like New Zealand, Australia, Asia. So there are just so many places, and there's so many.
Time is our enemy.
Time is our enemy.
We need the time to do it.
You know, it's cruising is a great way to see the world. You can get into some incredible places that you might not necessarily, visit. So no, definitely so many. UKB question: where do you find the best deals for Cunard? Well, this is a good question actually, because we tend to basically search everywhere. We always start with search travel agents that have got inbuilt search functions such as Igloo, which are very good and reasonable. We have booked a fair few cruises with Igloo because we found them to have the cheapest price.
Sea Scanner, cruise.co.uk, also very good.
My Kind of Cruise
good. So we absolutely shop around, and we book direct with Cruise Line. Do you know, there's not many times we've booked through the same place.
No, we're very careful with our money, and if we can get the same cruise in the same cabin for a cheaper price with another.
Yeah.
We tend to just follow wherever the price is, really.
Yeah, we're one of those people who think loyalty is, well, hasn't paid for us yet, has
No,
it?
I think a lot of some people,
Shop around.
Yeah, shop around. We're
Yeah.
big advocates of that. Just shop around and book with whoever is going to give you the best price, because you're paying for exactly the same cruise.
Yeah.
What always baffles me though is you can go direct to the cruise line. You can price up a cruise on the cruise line itself.
Yeah.
And then it's still cheaper with every other travel search engine that you can possibly. So, our go-to would never be directly with a cruise line, because their prices are always higher. So yeah, no, shop around. Commodore Steve.
Get a room. Oh, fan. Yeah. They're in the chat. They can see you, Steve. I'm sure they'll be thrilled with your comment. So it feels like when you see us that we are quite often with sisters on the sea.
Yeah,
but in
that's
reality, we very rarely see that.
Yes, that's very true.
It just so happened that we did Virgin.
Yes.
And
Aurora.
No, that Aurora was last year, Tom. We've just so happened we did Virgin and Queen Anne together.
Yeah.
But until then, it was Aurora. We last saw them, wasn't it?
That's what I mentioned.
Yeah.
Aurora last year.
Yeah.
So it just so happens that in terms of time scales and that, it seems to be.
And of course, Dom and Lizzie are both teachers, so half term is half term. So it works out that they cruise at the same time as us.
Scott Walker, I got a cheap post-COVID deal on Britannia to the Caribbean. Haven't looked back since. Couldn't do a normal holiday again. I don't think.
Well, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
We haven't.
We were talking about it the other day, actually. Should we just go and have a relaxing week somewhere in the sun? And we were sat there and talking about it. And then we said, well, pretty much after day 2, we'd be like, where's the entertainment? I think we'd be a little bit bored.
Yeah, just when we're in an all-inclusive hotel in Benidorm with a buffet, I don't think it'll be the same.
No, where's the speciality?
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely. Once you go cruising, you don't look at land-based holidays in the same way at all.
Alison T, such a great week. Lovely to meet you. And I've got another Queen Anne booked in 2 years' time.
Wow.
Find the food
excellent. Love the Wellness Cafe for breakfast and lunch. Great vegan options. Very true. And I did go to the Wellness Cafe for lunch. And yes, the menu does look quite confusing when you first present it, because it's choose one, choose option A, choose something in option B, choose something in option C, choose something in section D, whatever it may be. But when the food came out, and it was so speedy, so fresh, really good. Wellness Cafe is overlooked because it's up above the pavilion pool.
Yeah.
And there's no direct access to it really unless you walk up the stairs. It's not easy to get to.
No, it's not.
But they do fantastic vegan brownies. Some of the best brownies I've ever tasted. And they're vegan. So yeah, absolutely agree. Vegan food, great. Wellness Cafe, great.
Yeah, it was good. Their cookies, their oatmeal cookies were out of this world. Really good, but so quiet, because as Tom said, it's just one of them little gems that is hidden, really. And that's one of that is another little slight niggle with Queen Anne, is you've got doors and you've got doors at the end of corridors, and you look at it and you think, I don't think we're supposed to be going down there, and then it opens and you're like, oh, we're in the pavilion. It's really strange.
There's no signage.
No signage.
There, yeah, it's not obvious, and the doors are not glass.
No,
which you'd think they would be glass, so you could actually see where you're going.
So yeah, it's quite strange. You're walking down this corridor to this plain door, and it just opens, and then everything is sprawled in front of you.
Hang on, here's I'm going to be in the crew area or on the bridge or something.
Chris PNW, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.
Evening, gents. Emma, on her recent cruise on MSC Yacht Club, made a compelling case for the Yacht Club experience. May have exceeded what Cunard can offer in 2024. You'll say, well, that's one thing we haven't done yet, is experience MSC's Yacht Club.
We were lucky enough to be invited up to Yacht Club once, haven't we, on Preziosa, and it was a nice experience, shall we say. We got to go there, we met the captain up in the Yacht Club and things, so that was a good experience. Food was great. So yeah, I think you could be right. I think you could be right. For the price that Cunard are charging, maybe
for the grills.
For the grills, MSC Yacht Club is a good experience. The whole ship experience, though, is a different story, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like MSC. I think it's, you know, priced competitively. You get good value for money.
Ships are great looking,
beautiful ships.
I think the busyness of the ships and the level of service in the regular passenger areas, Queen Anne was better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
But
you have to take that into consideration.
But in the Yacht Club ship with an ship's experience, Emma could absolutely be right with that.
Yeah, because it's a much more personalised experience.
Yeah.
You have your own butler, so it's
where you get out your own butler on.
Yeah, you do in the grill. But no, you're right. Comparing the rest of the ship experience, because on Queen Anne, we didn't have any problems ordering a drink. The service was good. Dining was sometimes a little bit slow, but that's just because of the times that we were in there.
Good.
UKB, thank you both. Great info.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Christine, question: would you ever do a mystery or Christmas cruise? So we have done a Christmas cruise. We were on Arthur's Maiden, weren't we, for 2 weeks? We enjoyed that.
Yes, we enjoyed that. The very first one.
Few teething issues.
Check out our Arvia vlogs.
It was good.
Way back when, 2 Christmases ago. It was definitely an interesting cruise. It was Arvia's Maiden. Christmas Day was certainly interesting. There were a few teething problems, but overall, the Christmas experience is good. For us, we prefer cruising over New Year to on Christmas. We found Christmas perhaps slightly underwhelming as adults because it was just us two sat next to, particularly at lunchtime and dinner time, because it's us two sat next to nobody we know. Yes, we do get chatting to those people, but it's not quite the same as having Christmas with your family. I've lost my puppy. But New Year's cruising we found was better.
Yeah, it was great. We would consider another Christmas cruise because it was just a great experience. Didn't have to worry about anything except what time you had to be in the dining room. Mystery cruise.
I think I would like. Well, I think we'd like that. It means we couldn't do a lot of planning, which would be quite interesting. But that
would definitely be get off at the port and just wander around,
see what happens.
I think that'd be quite exciting. Commodore Steve, that was my poor idea of doing it. That's all right.
We knew it was a joke. We knew. The Sisters on the Seas and probably would have deleted it if they thought it wasn't.
Alison, Wellness Calf, I have my cabin on deck 10, so 2-minute walk to breakfast.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect. That's a great place.
We were on deck 4 and we thought that was great. Really?
Well, we had an extra large balcony for the price of a standard balcony, just because that's what you get if you book a deck 4 forward cabin. Brilliant tip. We loved it. Great size balcony. The cabin was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't good.
Right then, we've hit our time. Actually, we've gone over by 3 minutes.
Yes, we have. Well, that's okay. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, thank you. Please, if you could just press that little subscribe button, really helps us out. Give this video a cheeky little like. Thank you ever so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it, honestly, that you've taken time out of your day to come and sit and listen to us prattle on for an hour.
And if you do want to support us, then please consider joining us on Patreon, where you get behind the scenes videos. So every day on Queen Anne, our Patreons received behind the scenes, up-to-date videos of exactly what we got up to. So that is one of the benefits of many of being one of our Patreons.
On our channel tomorrow, we've got our day 3 Marella Voyager vlog, where we actually go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So make sure we check that out. And we dine in Nonna's, which is quite nice. So
2 experiences tomorrow to show you.
Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we hope to see you all again. Take care.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.